No, that is wrong, and there is some of that does go on. Absolutely.
Would you agree that a lot of it went on with Trump?
With Trump? Oh, what? You're obsessed with Trump?
I'm not obsessed with him, but I just want to have this discussion.
Oh, you're talking about lawfare. Well, yeah. I mean, it's a tough question that he put the country in, because as president, you don't want to go where so many other countries have gone, where the guy loses an election and now they prosecute him. Because
they prosecuted him while he was president also with 2 impeachments.
Yes, because he does commit crimes. See, this is the little fly in your ointment. Like not conceding the election, trying to get fake electors to show up when he knew, and every court told him, you can't do that. They went to court over 60 times, laughed out of every court, pressuring the Justice Department, calling up the guy in Georgia, who was a Republican, the vote counter there, and saying to him, I need you to find 11,000 votes.
Bill Maher never saw it music coming when former mob boss Michael Franzese stepped onto his podcast. He didn't just engage in a debate, he launched a verbal onslaught that left me scrambling for a comeback with razor-sharp critiques and an unapologetic streetwise perspective. Franzese eased through Mahar's arguments, challenging his views with the kind of confidence only a man who's navigated the underworld can bring. The unexpected showdown sent shockwaves through social media, igniting a fierce debate. As fans and critics alike dissected every fiery exchange, this wasn't just a conversation. It was a collision of two powerhouse personalities, comedy versus crime, ideology versus experience. And in the end, it was clear that Fran didn't just make his point. He made an impact. One thing's for sure, this explosive moment will be replayed and debated for a long time to come.
Aren't these investigations of you for good reason? Because you were breaking the law?
Here's the thing. Here's what they're talking about. And this is what Bondi recently said. You know, we're no longer going to use the Department of Justice to target an individual and find out what crime he's committing. That's what they said. That's what's been going on in lawfare for the past couple of years. But I can almost understand it. You know, mafia, organized crime, because we were allegedly criminals at that time. So, hey, let me see what this guy is doing. We know he's doing something. We don't know quite what, but we'll figure it out. We'll investigate him. Because it's backwards. In our life, you didn't have a crime and then they go investigate it. They were investigating you to see what crime you might commit.
But the mafia was committing crimes. You deny that?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm
extortion, loan sharking.
I'm saying you could almost say that's okay. All right, we know these guys are criminals. We don't know exactly what they're doing. We hear it. We have to find out. This is a criminal organization, so we'll target individuals and go after them. That's kind of okay.
It was a fishing expedition where there were a lot of fish.
Watch closely. Bill Maher just walked straight into a contradiction. Michael Franzese didn't mince words. Cracking down on actual criminals is one thing, but when law enforcement starts targeting everyday citizens not for crimes, but for their political or cultural beliefs, that a dangerous game. Franzese argues that the Department of Justice is being used as a weapon, punishing those who refuse to conform to prevailing narrative at first. Maher appears to agree, admitting that selective prosecution is a serious problem, but just later his stance is put to the ultimate test, and that's when the conversation takes an unexpected and revealing turn to mental gymnastics. Here, absolutely mind-blowing. Michael Franzese got Bill Maher to fully agree without hesitation that weaponizing the Doge against political opponents is wrong. Maher acknowledged that targeting people simply because you don't like them or disagree with their views is unacceptable, but then an almost comical twist. It's as if that logic flew right out the window the moment Trump's name entered the conversation. Suddenly, the same tactics Maher just condemned were apparently justifiable. When applied to Trump, it's a textbook case of cognitive dissonance, where principles vanish the second they clash with political bias. The sheer inconsistency is staggering, and yet for some it seems completely normal that.
To say, the Russia thing, even when he just said out loud, Russia, if you're listening, I wish you could help me with my campaign. We never did that before, Michael. You see, we ran our own campaigns. We didn't bring in ringers from the outside. It's part of the original documents that the founding fathers wrote. We don't want any help from outside because we're going to handle this ourselves. Maybe the Republicans and the Democrats fight each other to the tooth and nail, but don't bring in somebody from the outside. He broke that. He broke so many laws, not to mention norms. So the idea that, well, it's just lawfare going after him, it's not lawfare if the guy actually did commit crimes. and again, you have to weigh that against what's the better tact, because you don't want to become that country where as soon as somebody leaves office, they prosecute them. What the president gets to do should have broad protection. That's true. Because when you're president, you do have to make difficult decisions, like, we may have to bomb you.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can't just be called a war criminal for everybody you bomb. Sorry, that's just the way of the world. But he took it to a different level. So yes, I don't think it was all just lawfare.
Bill, these crimes that they allege, these are all nonsense.
They're not all nonsense. I just listed why they weren't.
No.
You don't care. You just like him. I like who you like. You don't listen to the logic about it or the facts. You just like him. It's okay.
I'll give you
Okay, the case for Trump being the target of lawfare hinges on a glaring double standard. As critics argue, he's guilty of serious crimes, yet the actual charges often amount to minor infractions, technicalities that under normal circumstances might not even warrant attention. Meanwhile, past presidents like the Clintons and Obama have been linked to far more consequential actions, including policies that led to the deaths of innocent people, yet they remain untouched. Francis calls out this elective. Prosecution, why is Trump the singular focus of relentless legal attacks, while others walk free despite arguably graver offenses? If justice were truly impartial, wouldn't these same investigative efforts extend to all former presidents? Yet it wasn't until Trump became a serious political threat that the legal floodgates opened against him. This stark inconsistency fuels the belief that Trump isn't being prosecuted for actual crimes, but rather for the crime of being on the wrong side of the political establishment. If the justice system wants to preserve its integrity, should accountability apply to everyone? Instead, the relentless pursuit of Trump raises an unsettling question. Are these prosecutions about justice or about silencing a political rival?
Okay, I know this statute inside out and upside down.
We're back to you now.
No, I'm coming to a point. I will tell you this. The information and the evidence that was uncovered by the GOP investigation on Joe Biden and Hunter Biden and his family, there was more evidence than there was in any one of my racketeering indictments. Joe Biden is treasonous.
I agree. I'm agreeing with you.
Okay, he's treasonous.
He's not treason.
Yes, he is. He sold out his vice presidency. That's treason. For money.
For fuck's sake. You just don't like him, so that's treason.
Bill,
but your guy.
Bill, no. Let me tell you. You know why I don't like him?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
I don't like him because he's a liar. Let me finish my point.
I didn't say anything.
He's a liar. He was never competent to be president. He lied he lied about everything. The guy lied about.
I'm not a huge fan.
He lied about the laptop. He lied about everything. He had 51, him and his cohorts there, got 51 intelligence agents to lie about the laptop after they knew that the FBI had authenticated it. Absolute liar. Okay, as far as that, let me tell you this.
Not a huge fan.
He had 18 shell companies that did nothing. There was no brick and mortar behind him. There was no employees. All they did was collect money. How do I know about that? I had 21 shell companies when I was defrauding the government out of tax on every gallon of gas. I know the whole system. He sold out his vice presidency. He sold it out. He's treasonous. And he lies. And the guy lies. He don't even know how to tell the truth. And he destroyed the country.
Treasonous. If we were at war and he was selling secrets to them, we weren't.
Well, how do we know what he did for the money? Bill, how do we know
I know what he did for the money. He got his ne'er-do-well crackhead son a job in an energy company when he knew nothing about energy.
Is that okay?
It's not okay, but when you have no perspective on what is the bigger